In the dim underbelly of the Cold War, where superpowers waged proxy battles across continents, the stage was set for a monstrous alliance to emerge in South America. The 1950s saw the United States, gripped by anti-communist fervor, begin weaving a web of influence through coups and covert operations. Guatemala's 1954 overthrow of President Jacobo Arbenz, orchestrated by the CIA, marked the first bloody blueprint. A popularly elected leader toppled for daring to flirt with land reforms that irked American corporations. This wasn't mere meddling, it was a declaration of war on any whisper of socialism, a pattern that would harden into doctrine under the Monroe Doctrine's iron fist. As the decade closed, Brazil's 1964 military coup, backed by Washington, installed a junta that would later become a Condor pillar, its generals schooled in torture at the U.S. Army's School of the Americas, where lessons in brutality were disguised as counterinsurgency training. By the early 1970s, the hemisphere pulsed with revolutionary fire. Che Guevara's 1967 execution in Bolivia, after his failed guerrilla campaign, ignited a chain reaction of fear among the elites. Uruguay's Tupamaros urban guerrillas clashed with security forces in street battles that left Montevideo scarred with barricades and blood. In Chile, Salvador Allende's 1970 election victory sent shockwaves through the Nixon administration. Henry Kissinger, the chess master of realpolitik, viewed it as a communist foothold just miles from California's shores. Cables flew from the State Department, green-lighting economic sabotage, truckers' strikes funded by the CIA, inflation engineered to cripple the economy. Allende's pleas for democracy drowned in the roar of Hawker Hunter jets, supplied by the U.S., that would soon bomb the presidential palace. Across the Andes, Argentina's Peronist left surged, clashing with right-wing death squads like the Argentine Anti-Communist Alliance, precursors to the systematic slaughter ahead. These were not isolated sparks, but fuses lit by Washington, igniting a continental inferno where dissent became a death sentence. The year 1973 crystallized the horror. On September 11th, as the world mourned another tragedy in New York, tanks rumbled through Santiago streets. General Augusto Pinochet, with CIA whispers in his ear and U.S. naval ships lurking offshore, unleashed hell on Allende's government. The air raid on La Moneda Palace turned the neoclassical edifice into a pyre. Allende's body riddled with bullets amid flames. Thousands vanished into stadiums turned torture chambers, where electric prods and waterboarding became routine. Pinochet's rise wasn't a fluke. It was the culmination of years of U.S. orchestration, from Operation Fewbelt's assassination plots to Kissinger's infamous quip, "I don't see why we need to stand by and watch a country go communist due to the irresponsibility of its people." This coup, a symphony of betrayal, echoed through the Southern Cone, priming the dictators for their unholy pact. Borders meant nothing to the ghosts of the disappeared. The stage was cleared for a cross-continental hunt. November 25th, 1975, dawned cold and conspiratorial in Santiago, Chile, where the air still carried the acrid tang of cupra gunpowder. In a nondescript villa shrouded by the Andes shadow, Manuel Contreras, the mustachioed chief of Chile's Dini secret police, welcomed his counterparts from the hemisphere's most ruthless regimes. This wasn't a diplomatic tea party, it was the baptism of Operation Condor, a clandestine covenant sealed with handshakes over maps marked with targets' names. Argentina's José López Rega, the shadowy Rasputin behind Isabel Perón's crumbling presidency, dispatched emissaries bearing dossiers on leftist exiles. Uruguay's intelligence head, Colonel Hugo Campos Alemán, arrived with tales of Montonero guerrillas slipping across the Rio de la Plata. Paraguay's Pastor Coronel, Stroessner's enforcer, brought lists of Colorado Party dissidents hiding in Asunción's slums. Bolivia's Klaus Barbie, the Nazi fugitive turned CIA asset, loomed in the periphery, his Gestapo ghosts advising on extermination logistics. The meeting unfolded like a noir thriller, with dim-lit rooms echoing whispers of shared intelligence networks. Codename Condor evoked the bird of prey circling its quarry, a fitting emblem for an operation that would span 6 nations: Chile, Argentina, Uruguay, Paraguay, Bolivia, and Brazil, later eyeing Peru and Ecuador. The agenda was brutally efficient: establish a unified computer system dubbed Sinbad to track dissidents via telex lines, snaking through embassies. Joint kidnapping teams would snatch targets from foreign soil, bundling them into unmarked vans for rendition to torture centers like Chile's Villa Grimaldi or Argentina's ESMA Naval Mechanics School. Funding flowed from U.S. coffers, laundered through the Bank of America, while CIA station chiefs in Buenos Aires and Santiago provided satellite intel and napalm recipes. Kissinger's blessing, relayed through declassified cables, was unequivocal. Tell them it's okay to do what they need to do. As the generals toasted with pisco sours, the Condor took flight, its talons sharpened for the hunt. By night's end, protocols were etched in blood oaths. Phase 1 targeted subversives within borders: students, unionists, priests like Uruguay's Father Alfonso Laguno, whose sermons on liberation theology marked him for the Gulag. Phase 2 went extraterritorial. Exiles in Europe or Mexico would be lured back or liquidated abroad. The pact's genius lay in its deniability. Each regime claimed sovereignty while sharing the spoils of terror. As delegates dispersed into the fog-shrouded dawn, the first telexes hummed to life, dispatching hit squads to Buenos Aires' tri-border shadows. Operation Condor wasn't born of ideology alone. It was a machine of mutual assured destruction, where one dictator's weakness became another's opportunity, all under the eagle eye of Washington. The Condor had spread its wings, and the screams of the vanished would soon fill the void. Dawn broke on March 24, 1976, with the thunder of artillery in Buenos Aires heralding Argentina's own descent into the abyss. General Jorge Rafael Videla's coup, cheered by Kissinger in a Mar del Plata golf course huddle, installed a junta that would outdo Pinochet in scale. Operation Condor activated immediately, its tendrils snaking across the pampas. In the first weeks, 30,000 subversives were rounded up in night raids. Mothers ripped from cribs, professors dragged from lectures, their screams muffled by Ford Falcon sedans prowling the boulevards. The Navy Mechanics School became a charnel house, where death flights hurled bound bodies into the Rio de la Plata, the splash a grim requiem. Videla's men, trained by French OAS veterans and U.S. Green Berets, pioneered disappearance as an art form. No bodies, no crime, just endless agony in secret prisons like El Vesubio, where electrodes danced on genitals amid the stench of fear. Across the border, Uruguay's 1976 crackdown synchronized like clockwork. Colonel Gregorio Alvarez, the Condor coordinator, unleashed Battalion 14 on Montevideo's shantytowns, abducting entire families suspected of Montonero ties. Paraguayan agents, under Stroessner's nepotistic grip, infiltrated the Guarani heartland, ferrying Uruguayan exiles back to the archives of terror, Stroessner's vault of dossiers that cataloged 400,000 victims. Bolivia, reeling from Hugo Banzer's 1971 coup, CIA, engineered with $1.5 million in bribes, joined the fray. Its Condor station in La Paz buzzed with telexes plotting against exiled miners' leaders. Brazil's DOI, CODI apparatus, the Quiet Giant, provided aerial surveillance from Embraer jets. its generals like Emilio Garrastazu Medici reveling in the shared spoils. Methods evolved ruthlessly, psychotropic drugs to break wills, sexual violence as a weapon, nuns violated in Chilean coliseums, unionists castrated in Argentine basements. The U.S. Embassy in Asunción funneled $10 million annually. Kissinger's memos revealing a chilling calculus, 60,000 dead acceptable to stem the red tide. Notable flashes of Condor savagery lit the 1977 horizon. In May, Chilean DINA agents with Argentine complicity snatched Uruguayan Congressman Zelmar Michelini and journalist Héctor Gutiérrez Ruiz from Buenos Aires safe houses. Blindfolded and beaten, they were helicoptered to Montevideo's dungeons, where pistol shots ended their defiance. Echoes rippled to Europe. In Paris, Paraguayan exile Claudio Breitz vanished from a cafe, his body later washing up in the Seine, courtesy of a Condor wet team. These weren't random hits, they were precision strikes in a war without uniforms, where exiles became prey in alien cities. As 1977 waned, the Condor's shadow lengthened, its beak dripping with the blood of 50,000 souls, a testament to the dictator's pact that turned neighbors into executioners. Washington, D.C., the citadel of democracy, became a battlefield in 1978 when Operation Condor's venom struck the heart of the beast. Orlando Letelier, Allende's exiled foreign minister, had transformed DuPont Circle into a hub of resistance, his briefcase stuffed with reports exposing Pinochet's atrocities. On September 21st, a Wednesday rush hour blurred into chaos as a Chevy Chevette rigged with 24 pounds of C4 plastic explosive sourced from U.S. military stockpiles via DINA, CIA pipelines, detonated on Sheridan Circle. The blast shredded Letelier's Volkswagen, decapitating him and his American aide Ronnie Moffett, shrapnel carving through diplomats' windshields like divine wrath. Michael Townley, the Chilean-American assassin, a ghost from the Church of Scientology's dark fringes, had parked the bomb car with surgical precision, his handler Contreras watching from Langley liaisons. The hit's audacity rippled like shockwaves. Townley, extradited after a lover's betrayal, confessed to a web spun in Santiago salons. DINA's Armando Fernandez Larios scouting targets, Cuban exiles from Watergate's anti-Castro brigade providing muscle. U.S. involvement festered beneath. The FBI quashed leads. Kissinger's State Department stonewalled inquiries. Memos later revealing Pinochet's request for neutralization greenlit by the secretary himself. This wasn't isolated carnage, it mirrored Condor's global jaunt. In Madrid, 1976's murder of Orlando's brother Fabian by DINA gunmen had set the template, their Berettas spitting death in broad daylight. Rome saw Chilean exiles gunned down in 1977 pizzerias, while Mexico City's 1979 kidnapping of Paraguayan priest Luis Maria Ramos Ferreira ended in a shallow grave courtesy of joint Bolivian-Argentine teams. As 1979 unfolded, Condor's fangs bared in the Southern Cone's core. Argentina's dirty war peaked with the theft of 500 babies from disappeared mothers, their wombs raided in ESMA's maternity ward horrors, newborns auctioned to junta loyalists. Uruguay's Plan Condor variant culled 3,000, its torturers like Alejandro Michelini, Zelmar's brother, vanishing into the void. Brazil's rural massacres in the Araguaia guerrilla front left 1,800 corpses rotting in the Amazon, dosed with scopolamine for false confessions. Methods innovated in depravity. The parrot's perch, a Uruguayan favorite where victims balanced on electrified poles, or Chile's black mass orgies of rape and ritual humiliation. The U.S. turned a blind eye, Carter's human rights rhetoric hollow as Condor archives piled with 80,000 names. Letelier's ghost haunted Foggy Bottom. a crimson stain on Embassy Row, whispering that no passport shielded the hunted. The 1980s dawned under Condor's crimson eclipse, with the Falklands' distant rumble masking the hemisphere's silent genocide. Argentina's junta, drunk on Videla's process of national reorganization, escalated disappearances to 30,000, their Ford Falcons prowling Cordoba's factories like wolves in the night. In June 1980, the night of the pencils, student activists abducted from La Plata bars, their screams echoing in Ford's own torture basements, complicit executives turning a blind eye for junta favors. Paraguay's Stroessner, the octogenarian tyrant, fortified his fiefdom with Condor bunkers, executing 2,000 in Operation Fox Hunt. Dissidents hunted like vermin across the Chaco's dust-choked trails. Bolivia's 1980 coup, Garcia Meza's narco-fueled seizure with cocaine barons' cash, integrated Condor with drug lords, Barbie's swastika-tattooed hands directing raids that vaporized leftist miners in Potosi's silver veins. Chile's 1981 Caravan of Death Redux saw Pinochet's elite brigade Los Narcos chopper through the Atacama, summarily executing 100 in mobile killing fields, bullets to the nape under starlit skies, bodies bulldozed into mass graves. Uruguay's final purge in 1981 targeted the MLN Tupamaros remnants, joint ops with Brazil's SNI intelligence snatching leaders from Montevideo hideouts, their interrogations a frenzy of waterboarding and the submarine suffocation tanks. Brazil, the sleeping Leviathan, awoke with Operation Ruby in 1982, a Condor crescendo that liquidated 400 in the Northeast's drought-ravaged Badlands, peasants crucified on barbed wire for suspected guerrilla sympathies. Tactics transcended borders. Operation Autumn saw Argentine-Uruguayan teams storming Venezuelan refugee camps, vans screeching to halts as hoods descended, victims trussed like game for the flight south. The apex's action pulsed with corrupt frenzy, generals feasting on caviar while subordinates tallied the dead. U.S. support peaked under Reagan, $100 million in aid masked as anti-narcotics, while Condor's Sinbad network hummed with 150,000 entries cross-referenced by IBM mainframes gifted from Washington. Incidents seared the ledger. The 1980 assassination of Peruvian exile in Lima by Chilean agents, a car bomb's roar leveling a block, or Brazil's 1982 Araguaia exhumations, where condors, irony's harbingers, pecked at unearthed bones. By 1982, the toll neared 100,000, a pyramid of skulls built on Kissinger's blueprint, where corruption festered like an open wound, generals amassing fortunes from seized assets while the vanished's echoes haunted the wind-swept pampas. The Falklands War's 1982 defeat humiliating Argentina's junta into elections. Videla's successors faced trials distant thunder, but Condor's ghost lingered in 1983's Never Again report, a 50,000-page indictment smuggled from ESMA's cellars detailing flights of death and baby thefts. Uruguay's 1984 transition under Sanguinetti unearthed Battalion 14's ledgers, 200 convictions for torturers who once balanced victims on electrified rods. Paraguay's 1989 palace coup felled Stroessner after 35 years. His archives of terror cracked open like a rotten egg, spilling 700,000 documents that mapped Condor's bureaucratic evil, telexes ordering extreme prejudice from DC proxies. Bolivia's 1985 democratization chased Garcia Meza into exile. Barbie extradited to France in 1983, his Condor confessions unraveling Nazi threads in the junta tapestry. Chile clung to Pinochet's claw until 1990, but leaks eroded the facade. In 1986, the Rettig report tallied 2,279 dead, while Dinas Contreras fled to Florida. His CIA pension a bitter irony until U.S. courts stripped it in 1995. Brazil's 1985 redemocratization buried Medici's era, but 1988's Amnesty Commission unearthed Araguaya's killing fields, bone fragments testifying to SNI's savagery. Notable reckonings flashed: 1992's Caravan of Death trial in Chile, Pinochet's lieutenants shackled for Atacama executions, Argentina's 1995 Videla life sentence, his uniform traded for prison gruel, Method's architects faced the bar, Townley's 1993 U.S. testimony implicating Kissinger in Letelier's blast, cables declassified under Clinton, revealing "make the economy scream" orders. Corruption's house of cards toppled as Swiss banks froze $17 million in Pinochet loot in 1998. The general's London arrest under Pinochet's warrant, a transatlantic manacle. By the decade's close, Condor's machinery rusted, but its scars suppurated. Mothers of the Plaza de Mayo marched eternally in Buenos Aires, white kerchiefs veiling tears for the 30,000 lost. Revelations cascaded. 1996's French trial of Uruguayan torturer Pedro Mato, his Perilla Grill horrors bared. Paraguay's 1998 Stroessner extradition attempt, foiled but fracturing the omerta. The U.S., long the puppeteer, began selective mea culpas. Clinton's 1999 apology for Chile's coup a hollow echo amid ongoing cover-ups. The Condor's flight faltered, but its droppings poisoned the soil, demanding exhumations that clawed truth from the grave. The new millennium dawned with Condor's specters dragged into courtrooms, where fluorescent lights exposed the rot. Pinochet's 1998 London detention under Baltasar Garzon's universal jurisdiction blade electrified victims from Santiago to Stockholm. House arrest in his opulent villa became a gilded cage as Spain's judges indicted him for 3,000 murders, including Letelier's. Extradition battles raged through The Hague. Pinochet's stroke-feigned frailty a final dodge, but his 2000 return to Chile unleashed a torrent. 300 lawsuits, assets seized from Riggs Bank, slush funds totaling $28 million. Videla, unbowed in Buenos Aires Campo de Mayo, faced 2010's ESMA trial. 12 admirals convicted for death flights, witnesses recounting plunges into the Atlantic's maw, bodies surfacing as warnings to the living. Argentina's 2005 Supreme Court annulled amnesty laws, unleashing truth trials that convicted 800 by 2012. Navy Captain Alfredo Astis, the Angel of Death, shackled for infiltrating mothers' meetings, his pistol still warm from silenced dissidents. Uruguay's 2011 full-stop repeal saw Alvarez sentenced to 25 years for Mussolini's 1976 slaying. His Montevideo bunker tours now ghost walks for the haunted. Paraguay's 2003 Menem-era extraditions failed, but 2010's Riggs scandal implicated Stroessner's heirs. $60 million repatriated amid survivor testimonies of Chaco rapes. Bolivia's 2008 Morales-era exhumed Banzer's victims. 1980 coup architects like Natush Bush tried in absentia, their Condor ties to Barbie's lion ghosts fueling indigenous reckonings. Brazil's 2014 National Truth Commission pierced the amnesty veil, naming 377 agents in Araguaya's massacres, though convictions stalled in congressional quagmires. Global echoes amplified the grind. 2011's Buenos Aires Condor megatrial convicted 13 for 13 murders, including French nuns tortured in ESMA's Inferno room. U.S. declassifications under Obama, 400,000 pages from 2016, exposed Kissinger's 1976 OAS speech urging strong measures, fueling 2014 calls for his indictment. Corruption's dividends reversed. Pinochet's widow Lucia sentenced in 2013 for embezzlement, her salons once hubs for Dina bounties. By 2015, 100 trials across the cone tallied 500 convictions, but the disappeareds count 60,000 mocked justice's pace. DNA labs in Cordoba sifting river mud for bone shards, each match a Pyrrhic victory in the endless night. As 2016 unfurled, Condor's embers reignited in Santiago's streets, where student protests against Bachelet's pension reforms drew Pinochet-era tear gas recipes from police arsenals. Revelations surged. France's 2016 extradition of Contreras' ally Fernandez Larios for Letelier, his guilty plea a dagger twist in DC's conscience. Argentina's 2017 Condor 2 probe unearthed Italian-Argentine dual nationals' fates, 20,000 Euro-descended victims mapped in a digital necropolis. Uruguay's 2018 Dictatorship Museum in Punta de Carretas prison showcased perillas and hoods, tourists gasping at the junta's banal evil. Paraguay's 2019 Lugo-era commission repatriated 423 bodies from Buenos Aires flights. Families clawing earth in Asunción cemeteries for closure, denied 4 decades prior. Bolivia's 2020 coup attempt echoed Condor's playbook, mass leaders fleeing as Morales decried fascist ghosts in La Paz barricades. The 2020s brought tidal reckonings amid pandemic shadows. Chile's 2021 Constitutional Assembly, born of Estallido social fires, enshrined anti-impunity clauses, convicting 100 more in Villa Grimaldi cases, survivors like Lorena Pizarro testifying to black bags and midnight vans. Argentina's 2022 Videla retrial added crimes against humanity for baby appropriations, 500 stolen lives reclaimed through grandmother's genetic sleuthing. Brazil's 2023 Lula return dusted off Araguaia files, indicting 30 SNI veterans for disappearances as policy. U.S. shadows persisted. Biden's 2022 declassification of 1,000 Kissinger memos confirmed $20 million in Condor bounties, sparking congressional hearings where aging ex-CIA men squirmed under Klieg lights. Paraguay's 2024 Stroessner centennial protests toppled his statues, survivors torching effigies in Itaipu's glow. By November 25, 2025, the 50th anniversary of that Santiago Villa pact, the hemisphere mourned in unified vigil. Chile's Supreme Court, in a December 2023 judgment hailed by the UN, convicted 24 for Condor killings, including Letelier's masterminds, sentences echoing through the Cordillera. Yale scholars warned of transnational repression 2.0, Venezuelan exiles snatched from Bogotá mirroring 1970s renditions. Mothers' marches swelled in Buenos Aires, now multi-generational kerchiefs pass like torches. The Condor's carcass picked clean, but its DNA lingers in encrypted apps tracking dissidents, a dark action reborn in digital gulags. Justice, a Sisyphean boulder, rolls on. Trials in The Hague loom for Pinochet's unrepentant heirs, while the vanished's whispers demand never again, yet the hunt endures. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this and would like to see more, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Make sure to hit the bell so you are notified when a new video is dropped. Until next time, uncover the truth and question the past.